So I talk a lot about how it's not your age, it's your alignment. If you're feeling aches and pains, if you're under 100 years old, I would even venture to say. And here's how alignment is involved with pain and why fixing structural alignment is the answer to most chronic pain issues and even acute pain issues that can come up. So here's the thing, we humans were built and designed to be in a certain sense of alignment. And yes, as children, we grow and develop and strengthen so that as adults, we're supposed to be in a sense of alignment, meaning feet that generally point straight ahead, hips that are level, shoulders that are aligned with each other, a head centered over the spine. From a side view, we want to see everything in good alignment from top to bottom with the natural curves in the neck and the low back and the pelvis in a good aligned position. The problem is, most of us humans these days, most of us adults, and even a lot of our teens are getting severely out of alignment. And how does this happen? Well, it can happen lots of ways. The main reason is underuse. Most of us are moving a lot less than our bodies need us to. We're moving a lot less than our ancestors did. And really, human bodies are built to move. And the human body is designed to always be growing and strengthening, actually, with the right stimulus. So when we're moving enough and in the right ways, the body keeps growing and keeps developing and can even stay in a good sense of alignment. The problem is, a lot of us modern people, first of all, aren't moving enough. And then on the other hand, the ways that we are moving may be some activities that are not so aligned, not so balanced. So they're creating some overuse issues, some alignment issues because we're using one side. We're also doing a lot of things like sitting for long periods of time, which creates its own problems on the body. The body tends to shape to whatever position we put it in. We're kind of like Gumby. So the more that we're sitting, the more that we're rounded. And yes, some of the technology life, the forward head, creating that rounded posture, which all of us have nowadays in some ways. This all starts to create alignment issues. So now the body starts to function with an alignment, a posture that it was not built to function in. So then when we try to go run and jump and play, or even stand for long periods of time, or even sitting for periods of time, we start to get pain because the body's out of alignment, because now we've got things like that rounded posture, which really changes the way that things like arms, shoulders, neck, and spine can function. We've got things like hips way out of alignment. Most of us humans these days have hips that are weak and out of alignment, meaning one hip tending to get higher, pelvis a little twisted or out of positions. This creates problems throughout the body because the pelvis is really like the brain of the body, the base of the spine, where everything gets its alignment from the waist down as well. So things like knees, feet, ankles get really affected by pelvic position, hip alignment. Then when we're looking at neck and shoulders, and we can just see how this alignment falls into the body in various ways. The beautiful thing is the human body is going to do what it can to find balance. So the human body starts to compensate for these alignment issues and starts to create more alignment issues and patterns of movement that, yes, lead to pain. And how does alignment create pain? Or misalignment create pain more specifically? Well, when we think about the human joints, a lot of the ways that it was designed so brilliantly, right, is that it's meant to be in a certain sense of alignment. So if we look at something like a hip and even looking at a knee, for instance, knee pain is something that comes up for a lot of us, maybe at some point in life. And a lot of us might just think, oh, it's because I'm getting older. Well, here's one of my favorite questions that comes from one of my big teachers, Pete Egoscue, looking at, is this your age or is it alignment? Why is it just one knee hurting? Isn't the other knee the same age, right? So if it's about age, why is it just one knee, for instance, if that's your case? So, but if we're looking at the knee as an example of how alignment plays a role in how that knee functions, how that knee feels, and what's going to make it hurt or create inflammation, or even what is called arthritis, which just means inflammation at the joint. So when we have something like a knee and we have a joint that's supposed to be aligned in a certain position and function from there, when suddenly we've got alignment issues forming from things like that pelvis being out of whack, those hips being crooked, other things happening, right and left strength differences, suddenly that knee's functioning with a little bit of a misalignment. So now when we run and jump and play, or just bend down, or even sit down or stand, this is creating friction. It's not an aligned joint. It's not working how it's supposed to. It starts to create pain, inflammation, what can be called arthritis. So some of the traditional methods would be to just try to soothe that pain, to give you some meds maybe to help you not feel the pain, to maybe even get surgery to try to support the knee more. But unfortunately, it's still out of alignment. So the thing that's really beautiful and interesting and exciting is the body can change and get back into alignment. And that's what I get to do with the exercises, the ways I've learned to use the exercises of yoga and beyond to help people get out of pain. Because when you take a look at what is happening with the alignment, which again, all of us adults these days have some sort of alignment issues going on. But when we take a look at what that is, and if you do have any sort of pain, it always helps you understand why you're hurting. It always directly relates to the alignment. But the great news is you can change that alignment with some of the right stimulus now to change how your body's functioning, how your body's positioned, and starting to strengthen you to hold that new alignment. And yes, to get you to start doing something to strengthen you each day, because that is important. This lack of motion is still an issue. But if you're willing to do some things each day, even in just minutes a day, you can make up for the fact that you're not moving as much as your ancestors. You can do some work to realign you again and again, even if your daily life is getting you out of alignment, your time in the car, your time in the desk, your activities you might do, maybe you're a practitioner using the body. You can do things each day to undo the effects of whatever's getting you out of alignment and thus undo whatever's getting you into pain. So this is a little more of how alignment creates pain, how if you're in pain, it's not your age, it's your alignment. And the best news is that your alignment is fixable. But it does involve doing some specific things to address your specific alignment, and you need to be willing to do it most days. But if you're willing to do it most days, you can change your alignment, just like a chiropractor does. And I know chiropractors love this approach because this helps you start doing that for yourself, so that each day you're doing something to realign your structure, to get you out of those alignment issues, whether they've been going on for 20 years or 20 days. And even if you're still doing the things that are getting you out of alignment, even more importantly, now you get to add a practice each day that's going to help undo that, help give you the right motion to fix that, to restore your alignment, and yes, to start getting strengthening back in your life. And then the best part is this can get you back to running and jumping and playing and doing the things that you love, versus some of how the more maybe traditional methods of addressing pain do usually mean more limitation and just having to stop doing some of those things we love, whether it's taking a walk through our neighborhood, being able to walk around Disneyland all day without hurting, being able to sit in your car for your commute without pain, being able to jump on the trampoline with your kids, being able to dance at a party without pain, right? Or maybe you've got some favorite sports or activity that you have been feeling like you have to give up because you know it's creating your pain. This can help you take care of the body outside of that so you can keep doing that activity, whatever it is. So it's really great news, especially when you just understand it's your alignment, it's not your age, and your alignment is fixable. So I'm here to share that great news. I'm here to help. And it's exciting to get to work with people who are ready for this approach, this understanding, and what you can do each day to start to fix it, and then to keep you out of future problems is evenly more awesomely amazing, right? So yeah, good news about how use of daily exercise therapy really is what we're talking about here, and postural therapy, and yeah, addressing your alignment because it is the cause of your pain wherever the pain's at. And unfortunately, until you fix that alignment, you may or may not resolve that pain. So it's kind of a bitter truth, but also an empowering truth if you're willing to get to what you can do each day. And the sooner you start, the sooner your pain's going to go away. That's the truth of it. So I love when people are ready, and I'm so pumped to share this. This comes from my own experience of having been in pain and now sharing that with others. So thank you so much. Love sharing it with you guys. Namaste.